Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, May 20th, here in Trump land. I am Bruce Leonard, and this is Bruce Leonard Leans Left while it's still legal. This is Bruce Leonard Leans Left while it's still legal. Still legal today, I believe. That's why we're here. It's getting interesting now. It seems we have some splitting going on in Megaland. It seems like some of the megas are turning on Kash Patel and Dan Bongino because they haven't gone after all of these deep state actors in the FBI who coordinated January 6th and made it a false flag operation and all the things that they said before they were appointed to these positions because, as you probably know, and I know, it was all bullshit. Complete bullshit. And they're also pissed off because they came out and said, oh, that Jeffrey Epstein, he committed suicide. He wasn't murdered. He committed suicide. And we promised you we'd release all these files, but we still haven't because no one knows why. You could probably just figure out why they haven't released these files, but they haven't released them, even though after many promises. Oh yeah, we're gonna release all these files. We're gonna get to the truth of this matter. The truth is, Trump's name's all over these files. I bet. That's the fucking truth. I don't know if you know this, but Trump and Epstein were pretty good friends. This is the thing about MAGA in general, the whole thing. Most of it, as I've said a million times, most of it is a lot of bullshit. Complete bullshit. Lies and bullshit. Which is why they're losing all these court cases, and the courts themselves are losing faith that the government itself is telling them the truth. You know why? Because it isn't. Their whole worldview is based on lies, bullshit, and conspiracy theories that they make up. It's just like now. Like Joe Biden has prostate cancer. So now they turn this into a conspiracy too. Why? Why is that? Because they want to talk about anything except what they're doing, which is ruining the country and shitting all over the Constitution and breaking the law, really, a lot of places. My Bob had the 5 on today. That's all we were talking about was Joe Biden this, Joe Biden that. And it's like, I don't know if you know this, just like when I talk about Hillary Clinton. I don't know if you know this, but these people are gone. That's the beauty of this system. 4 years and the people are gone. Well, 8 years if they get elected twice. My Bob had the 5. Here we are again. What the fucking... Anyway, it's half. There's weather here today, so the thing's fucking up again. But I don't know what's up with that. I don't know how to fix it. I mean, I'm going to have to hardwire this computer, obviously. Yeah, I know. It keeps disconnecting and connecting again. But anyway, so what you're seeing right now is the result of, like I said, these guys have spent the last, especially Bongino and Kash Patel, have spent the last 10 years peddling complete bullshit. If the FBI is corrupt, the FBI did this, the FBI started the January the 6th, and now they're heading the FBI. They have access to all these things. And you know what they probably found out when they got there? Hey, this place isn't full of a bunch of deep state actors who are trying to undermine democracy. This is a law enforcement agency. Like, yes. Yes, it is. Now it's green all of a sudden. 100%. I don't know what's up with it. I don't know what's up with it. Now it's red again. You see? It's... Somebody's throttling my feed. Anyway, yeah, so now they're in charge. They have access to all the things. They've been there long enough, right? If January 6th was a false flag operation, they should be able to prove it. All right. Thanks, Jess. And they can't prove it because it's bullshit. And will that stop them? No. Will that prove to people that they were lying to them and feeding them conspiracy theories that are full of shit? Like, no. It won't. Because once people believe something, they dig in harder. They're never going to say, oh, I was wrong or I was taken in by this bullshit. Look at Alex Jones. Alex Jones had to pay $1 billion and lost InfoWars because he spread complete bullshit about that shooting, right? And he just popped back up on X and YouTube. And he still got millions of people fucking listening to him. Why? Because, like I said, these people are gone. I said it a long time. Brainwash. It's like cults. Like when your family gets taken in by a cult, right? You can't just go to them and say, hey, man, you've been taken in by a cult. What's up? And they go, oh, wow, I've been taken in by a cult. You know, like and they just leave. Like, no, that's not how it works. They dig in harder. And then they go, you're just trying to hide me from the truth. And that's where we are at now. Because like I said, if the FBI really did create January 6th as a false flag operation, which is what Bongino and Kash Patel have been saying for 10 years, they would have already came out and said, here's all the files and the proof that they did that. But they didn't do that. It's a completely made up bullshit story. And now they're in charge of the organization that they disparaged. And they're like, oh, well, I don't know about January 6th, and Epstein killed himself, and we have the files, but we're not going to release them, even though we told you that we would. It's like, these people lie. Period. And also, all the things that I told you about the Seacott prison are true. It's coming out now. There's 50 to 75 people there who came to the United States legally, had no criminal records. Yeah. See, you call it truth bombing, I call it bullshit. If these things were true that they said, like I said, they have the FBI in their hand now. If what they said was true, they could prove it right now. Right now. But they don't. Why? Because it doesn't exist. It's bullshit. And people call it, like you said, people call it truth bombing. It's not, yeah, it's bombing the truth is what it is, because they're full of shit. Yes, and Trump as well. That's why they won't release the Epstein files, which I said before you came on, I guess. They promised they'd release the files, and all of a sudden they haven't released them. Well, why is that? Because Trump's name's all over them, I'm sure. They were friends. There's hundreds of pictures of Epstein and Trump hanging out together. There's no way to fucking... If what they said was true, they would release these files. If it was all Democrat, the pizza dwelling, pizza basement dwelling child molesters. it's bullshit. The whole right wing sphere is populated with complete bullshit. It's as if we're way past like disagreeing about politics. What they have done is invented a reality that's not real. And that's what they're doing now. Like the intelligence agencies said Tren de Aragua is not an arm of the Venezuelan government. It's not. Why? Because it isn't. That's a ridiculous concept to think that an actual government of a country would make a deal with a transnational gang and then try to invade your country with the gang. Like, and do what? What are they gonna do? Rob a bunch of places? You know, like it's like it's not an army. It's not an invasion. So what did they do? They promptly fired all the people that wrote the report. Why? Because it doesn't jive up with their bullshit to use. Vinny says Trump had the most to lose by Epstein going to trial. He did, yes. I agree. Yeah. And why did they go from Epstein was murdered to all of a sudden Epstein committed suicide? Who was president when? Then? See, that's the real thing. That's the other part of it. Is it's harder to find the truth when you cloud it up with a bunch of bullshit. You know, the actual truth gets hidden and buried under these mounds of bullshit. I don't think that Kash Patel and that they could not take control, or maybe they did believe these things. Maybe they did. Maybe they really were like, you know, maybe he was strapping up and going, we're going in there, we're going to find all this stuff. And when they got there, they go, hey, there ain't nothing here. Yes, there's nothing there. Because it's a false flag operation. For what? They won the election. The Democrats, why would they need to create January 6th? They won the election. They're the ones who were trying to stop the certification of the election. So, tell me the motive. What's the motive? There is none. It's bullshit. It's just like Pizzagate. No, there's a basement of the pizza place where they're diddling kids down in the and some we can't prove this bullshit story because it's a bullshit story. It's unbelievable. And it's the same shit. They say, oh, they're going to Russell Brand. Why do you think Russell Brand turned into what he turned into? Because it works. He knows that, I mean, you watch all this shit. Look at Trump. And you cloud up the waters with enough bullshit, and then you say, oh, they're persecuting me because I'm telling the truth. And that's why he did. He became a Christian. Oh, I'm a Christian all of a sudden. And I'm a right-winger because I realized that the liberals are lying and so I'm going to, and now I'm a right-wing influencer and they're coming after me because of my politics. No. The politics is because they're coming after you. Why? Because you're a creepy rapist, bro. Even his wife, his ex-wife, Katy Perry, even she said he's weird as fuck. You just tell me you don't think that this weird motherfucker did some weird shit? Like, he did. Yeah. It's just like Diddy. There's still people that are trying to defend Diddy. I don't understand that. It's like, no matter what you think about Diddy's music or anything like that. The guy did some horrible things. He's a bad dude. Like, he's on video, like, beating the shit out of a woman. Like, you can't just make that go away. And that's what goes back to my point. Once people are dug in, they're dug in. They're not coming back. That was the conversation, that me and Danielle are going to have soon about, what do you do when there's so many people who are brainwashed? This system itself has become so big and so prevalent. And I said, you got the Fox News, you got all these. Now they're trying to take it so far. They're like, oh, the Trump is like, oh, the auto pen this and like that, like Joe Biden was dead, like, like he was like Biden was dead, like, like he was laying there in a casket and they're just doing things, I don't believe that's the case. Whatever they were doing, they had to run it by him, at least. Because, again, it's not like you can get away with things. It's not like you can do a bunch of shit and Joe Biden doesn't know that you're doing it. So he might have been a little old, a little slow. And other people might have picked up the slack a little bit, but it ain't like they're running shit and they weren't running shit by him and telling him what they were doing. You think he's reading the paper going, oh, wow, that happened? He's the president of the United States. See, they need to talk about Joe Biden endlessly and over and over and over because, like I said, they don't want to talk about you turn the mirror to them and you're like, hey, like we said before, 100 times, like, hey, I ain't totally down the Democrats. But they're not doing this shit. So yeah, like I said, at Seacott Prison right now, there's 50 to 75 individuals who came to this country legally, who had no criminal record, who aren't members of Tren de Aragua. Now they're in a prison. Yes, Julia says they couldn't find the millions and millions of illegal criminals because there aren't millions and millions, so now they're victimizing innocent migrants to cover their asses, not working well. Yes, exactly, which is what I said a long time ago. There aren't a million gang members. You'll run out of them people real fast. It's not a very good plan. Like I said, Stephen, it's a fever dream, that Stephen Miller thinks he can hide behind this story that there's millions and millions of gang members and they're killing people all over the goddamn place. And like I said 100 times, when they want to bring up something, they only bring up that one girl. Look at Laken Riley this or Laken Riley that. Laken Riley. And the guy that killed Laken Riley, I don't even believe was a Tren de Aragua member. He was just an illegal alien. Now, he might be in a gang. I mean, I don't know, but I don't think he was. They never really said that. And if he was, they would have said that immediately. Now they're trying to charge the congresswoman with assault. He was in front of the thing. They arrested that mayor, remember? Well, they had to release him and drop all the charges. Why? Because there's video. He did not storm the facility. He did not do anything. He was there trying to do government oversight over facilities inside of his state, and they were trying to stop him. That's what happened. They arrested him, made a big show of it. But they had to release him and drop all the charges. Why? Because there aren't any charges. Just like the congresswoman. There's videos all over the place. She did not attack anybody. She's a congresswoman. Now they're trying to charge you with assault. It's like that judge. They said, oh, the judge, she tried to stop us from arresting this illegal alien, and come to find out, she just told him to go out the other door, and then he was on the elevator with the police. She didn't stop anything. What they want to do is scare people. intimidate people, judges, anybody that might stop them from doing whatever they're doing. Congress people, judges, mayors, governors. They want to intimidate these people so that they'll just lay down and shut up and let them do whatever they want. Well, it ain't really working. And like I said, the courts themselves, they've lied in court so much that the courts themselves are starting to doubt. Like there's this thing called good faith, where the court takes in good faith that what the we've lived under this system for our entire country. And we've never really had such lying scumbags in power as these people. And so these people have gone into court and lied so many times now that the courts are saying, well, we don't even know if we can take you in good faith anymore. That what you're telling us is true. Because most of the time, it isn't. like you explained to me, they say, we can't tell you about Abreu Garcia because it's state secrets. What's the state secrets? What are you hiding? What is the state secret with this guy? The state secret is he ain't in a fucking gang. That's the secret. They don't want to hide. They want to hide it from you because they never should have deported him in the first place. Now, we've had this discussion before. We're going to have it again. For 1 second, because what they'll say is what they always say is, oh, then you're with the gang members and the terrorists. No. Again, if you can prove to me that a guy's a gang member, a vicious terrorist, and a murderer, or whatever, even if he isn't a murderer, if he's an MS-13 member here illegally in the United States, you know what? I don't give a shit. Send him down there. I don't fucking care what you do with them. Because most of those people are scumbags. And whatever happens to them, I ain't too worried about it. But there aren't millions of those people. There's some. That's why I says most of their bullshits, stories, are kerneled around tiny bits of truth. That's what gives it the believability factor. Like, are there gang members here? Yes. Sure. There was a gang from South America. I don't remember what country it was. Chile, I think. Who was going around and robbing sports players' houses. They robbed Joe Burrow's house here. They robbed Mahomes' house, Travis Kelce's house. They robbed some basketball players. That's going on. That's real. So there is a nugget of truth. There are foreign gang members in the United States, illegally, who commit crimes. Now, are there millions of them? No. There's thousands, probably. Hundreds. High hundreds, small thousands. Julia says, with MAGA, every accusation is a confession. They accuse the previous administration of weaponizing government against political enemies, but that's exactly what they're doing. Exactly. That's also so they can say, well, they did it to us, so we're doing it to them. But the truth is, they didn't really do it to them. They are criminals. It's like, how you get the government to not be on your back? Don't be a criminal. All the things they did are legal. Trying to round up put a slate of fake electors in so that they could just ignore the election and vote for Trump anyway, trying to stop the certification of the election and just declare Trump the winner unilaterally. The same as all this vote shit. Now, he's still, the 2020 election was rigged. It's rigged. And I really won. And you go, well, where's the evidence of that? Well, we don't have any. Of course you don't. They don't have any evidence of anything they do. Because they're full of shit. Most of their worldview and point of view is complete fiction. That's what happens, like I said before, when reality and bullshit meet. Bullshit usually gets decimated, which is why, like I said, you don't see Kash Patel and Dan Bongino going after the FBI now. Because the stories they were peddling were bullshit. Not true. They did not create January 6th. You know who created January 6th? Trump and the Proud Boys. And all the people that he pardoned. They're going to pay that woman. They're going to pay that woman's family $5 million for being a terrorist. I don't know if you saw that film. Now, the woman got shot. It's terrible. You know, it went too far. But you know what happened? They went too far. They blocked those doors off. The Congress was behind those doors. They smashed them windows. And she tried to climb through that window. And if they let her climb through that window, everybody else is climbing through that window. So what did they do? They shot her. Which they should have. They're doing their job. Now, it's horrible if someone died. But it's horrible what they did. MAGA is a bunch of poorly educated, brainwashed fucking children who act like 5-year-olds emotionally. And that's all it is. Look at Trump. He went, Bruce Springsteen, Beyonce, that. And like, who the fuck? He's the leader of the free world. The man has no couth whatsoever. And he can't talk about anything without trying to make it about himself. Because he's a narcissist and a fucking, I said, piece of shit criminal. You're like, yes, I let him fuck my wife because he's Jesus. And you're like, no, he's not Jesus. He's just a guy. You're like, oh, I don't want to speak to you again. It's like, it's not that easy to unbrainwash somebody. And the machine, like I said, the brainwash machine is in full effect. The Benny Johnson and the Tim Pool and the fucking, the Joe Rogan. It seems like Joe Rogan is in a weird place where he's kind of figured out that he helped evil people become powerful. And he doesn't know what to do about it. He sits there sometimes now. He's like, I don't know. I don't like this Gaza thing. It's crazy. Like, yeah, it's crazy. It's always been crazy. He's like, I don't know if you should be suspended habeas corpus is putting people down in prison. Yeah. No, you probably shouldn't, Joe. But you help these people. That's the thing that I've always wondered about Joe Rogan is, you know, he's not the smartest guy, but he's not the dumbest guy. And me and Danny were talking before. When the left came after Joe Rogan, because he said the N-word or whatever, that was stupid. It was foolish. But he didn't say it in like a malicious way. He was quoting somebody. And then, like everything on the internet, people took it and they ran with it. They twisted it. They tried to make it into something it wasn't. And left people came after him. Hey, what's up? How you doing, Brian? And he went, hey, wait, and he turned to the right. Because the right started defending him. And he was like, hey, well, maybe these are the people. And then he started helping him. But now, I think he realized that he's been suckered. But he can't say that again. It's like Fox News. You know, if Fox News was going to turn into a legitimate news channel, they'd have to come on TV and say, we're sorry, but we got to interrupt this Jesse Waters primetime episode for a big announcement. We're sorry. We've been full of shit for a long time. And half of what we do here is not news at all. They can't do that. That's their thing now. They're bullshit peddling propaganda artists. That's what they do. That's what they are. It's not news. It's never been news. If you look up Fox News Channel and you read the thing, it's not even called news, it's called entertainment. Because that's what it is. They used to be like half real news in the daytime. It was still slanted, but it was more like real news. Where they would even talk about, things that right-wing people did. And but they got gone away from that too. It's never news. John joined the 21st century. Welcome. Welcome. I've drugged my way into it too, kicking and screaming. There ain't nothing to do but get on the train because it's going without us. It's like, I will say this though: the internet itself has become such a vile cesspool of shit that it's hard to even look at it now. I don't really use it for anything other than reading the news. Because if you go and start looking at these things and start looking at what people are saying, it's very bleak. And you're like, and then everybody can't be like this. And then you go out to a bar or something, you start talking to people, and they are like that. Like it's starting to bleed into real life. I don't know about, we were talking about this before where, people were talking outside this bar about them rounding up and deporting people, and all I said was, hey, I'm not sure if people should be rounded up and deported without due process to determine who these people are before you ship them off to a supermax prison in El Salvador. And they all, to a letter, turned to me and was like, well, this guy's a liberal. But because I care about your constitutional rights, it's I don't believe that a lot of these people are smart enough to even realize. The woman, I don't know if you saw this, the woman who runs Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, testified in front of Congress today. And they asked her, one of the Congress people asked her what habeas corpus was, and she did not know. She said habeas corpus is the right of the president to take these people and deport them. You're like, that's not it at all. You don't know what you're talking about, do you? The people are in charge of the government who don't, and the law, who don't even understand the government or the law. I know more about it than she does, sitting here in this basement. If that don't scare the shit out of you. It's like, the only reason these people are have their jobs is because they're good on TV. Because like I said, what Trump is a reality show producer. And that's what he's doing. He's producing a reality show. And so he was like, I want all these. That's why he's got 27, or I don't know how many. It's like 23 Fox News personalities. Where's the Secretary of Transportation? Where's he from? Road rules. Wow, there is transportation on a road, I guess. So, he's ancillarily qualified, Like, no, he's not qualified at all. But this guy in charge doesn't know anything about what he's running, and then they cut the shit out of it with the Doge. And now planes are hitting each other all the time, and like they got to call off takeoffs and landings because they might collide, and like and you're like, and somehow this is Joe Biden's fault. Now, like I said, I'm not a Joe Biden honk. I'm not a Joe Biden fan. I didn't wear a Joe Biden T-shirt for fucking 4 years and say he's the greatest thing that ever walked the fucking planet. No. Was he competent? Yes. He was in the government his whole entire life. He knows what's going on. Now, is he a little old, a little slower? Yeah. But it's not like he forgot everything he knows about the law and the government and how to run these systems. And he had people in charge of stuff that were smart. Pete Buttigieg was the transportation secretary. You didn't see that shit happening. They try to blame him now. This Buttigieg just... That's like if you drove your car to my house and then I said, can I take your car to go to the store? And you said, yeah. And then I drove your car to the store, and on the way, I smashed into someone's house or something. And then I said, it's his fault. It's his car. It's like, yeah, but you're driving the car. Or it's not even like, it's even worse than that. It's like if you came to my house and bought my car, I sold it to you, I signed it over, right? You got in the car, you drove off, and you smashed into someone's house or someone else's car, or you ran over somebody, and then you said, it's his fault. It's his car. It's like, well, wait, he just signed it over to you. Well, I don't know if somehow it's his fault. Yes, it's a circus of bullshit, John. It is. And it just gets worse every day. And like I said, the media, I used to have respect for the media. I've lost almost all respect for the media. And now I do understand why people are looking for the internet and looking for things like this to tell them what's going on, because you can't trust these CNN. John says he sold a car to a dude who tried to rob a liquor store in my car. Yeah, exactly. He said, it was him. Wait, they got you on camera with the gun. It was him. Somehow. That's how far off the rails we are now. You know, you can't make it up how bad it is. And like I said, the media just takes it. The media just goes, well, Trump said this, and Trump said that, and everything he says is bullshit. The only person left that I see who tries to call out this bullshit is, what's her name? Caitlin Collins. She tries to be like, but she's also got to toe the CNN line, so she ain't trying that hard, but she's trying. Sometimes she's like, well, that's not really true. It's like, most of these other channels, they just play what he says. They go, well, the president said this. Like, yeah, the president said that, but that don't make it true. It's just like this Ukraine thing. He's like, oh, I'm going to get tough on Vladimir Putin. I'm going to call him on the phone. And then he calls him on the phone for 2 hours, and then he comes off the phone. Well, we just got to do what Vladimir Putin wants. And then people say, oh, he's not a Russian pawn. Like really? He's not? The truth is that Trump has some kind of obsession. Now, whether or not he's a Russian agent who's like on the payroll is another, a whole nother question. But what is true for sure, 100%, is that Trump has some kind of obsession with reigniting our relationship with Russia, and he thinks that Ukraine is just in the way of that. What he wants is Ukraine to give up the war and just give away their territories and their lands to Russia so that the war can end and then Trump can make some kind of fucking deals with Russia, whatever he thinks he's going to get, which Fareed Zakaria was saying yesterday. I don't know what he thinks he's going to get. He's like, Russia's a piece of shit country. It's not even, it's got an economy the size of the Netherlands. It grew 0.8% last year, the Russian economy. Not even 1%. Poland, 8%. Poland is firing on all cylinders. Their economy grew at 8% last year. And Fareed Zakaria was like, he should be trying to make deals with them. It's like, Russia is a backwards mafia state that's on the verge of bankruptcy, really. The only thing keeping the economy of Russia alive at this moment is the war itself, and that's another reason why he can't stop it. John says he's too fucking stupid to be an agent of anybody. You're right about that. Somehow he's president of the United States. What does that say about us? That's what I say. It was like, this country is getting intolerable to even live in. There's way too many fucking stupid people who are proud of being stupid. It's not even like, oh, we're stupid, man. Maybe we need to do something about this. Like, nope. Nope. Profanity filter on. Well, I didn't turn it on. Yes, John says, organized crime loves suckers like Trump. Yes, that's what I said. He's what they call a useful idiot. Do you believe this? This actually happened. Trump, first of all, if you don't know Steve Witkoff, who's doing all these negotiations, he's basically Trump's de facto Secretary of State. He's going around talking to Iran, talking to Putin, trying to end these, trying to make a nuclear deal with Iran, and he's trying to end the war in Ukraine, right? Steve Witkoff is a real estate developer who plays golf with Trump. He's Trump's golfing buddy. He has no diplomatic experience whatsoever. And he doesn't know much about the world itself and the geopolitics. He's a real estate guy and not a very smart one, like if you listen to him talk. Anyway, he went to meet with Vladimir Putin face to face, right? And you look at the meeting, Putin is sitting there flanked by like 6 guys on either side. This guy walks in by himself and then is given an interpreter from the Kremlin. I don't know why it's on all of a sudden. I've been cussing since I started this show. So, who turned on the profanity filter? I don't know. Anyway. So now he's sitting there by himself with an interpreter given to him by Vladimir Putin. And come to find out, that was Putin's conditions for the meeting. And Trump agreed to it. He says, yes, I will meet you, but only your man alone. I will give interpreter. Oh, for chat. Well, whatever. I don't care about the chat. I thought you meant I can read what he's saying. If they put a star and fucking, whatever. It's fine. I know what he said. The chat don't bother me. It's when they start profanity filtering the fucking show. Then I'll be like, hey, I didn't turn this on. Yes, I've been cussing like a motherfucker since the very day one. That is one skill I am well versed at. That and fucking shit up for myself. Those are 2 skills I am very well versed in. Yeah. Well, it may be a YouTube setting. The chat thing is a stream. It streams me comments from Facebook and YouTube. So it could be the actual RTMB, whatever that is, the chat stream. I don't know. Like I said, I can read it, so I don't really care that much about that part of it. I don't want them taking my cuss words out. Fuck that. It's fucking bullshit. Yes, that would help. That would help. I don't know what's going on with the. For a long time, it worked perfect, and then the last few weeks, it started whacking out. I don't know what the deal is. I think it's part of it, maybe because Verizon, because I'm using so much data, even though I have an unlimited plan. Deal is. It's part of it, because I pay for an unlimited plan. We all know it's not unlimited. When you reach a certain limit of data, then they start throttling your shit down. You know, it's like, hey, we need to slow down on this data. And I've been using a lot of data since I've been doing this show 3 times a week. So that's probably it. It probably works good like the first 2 weeks of the month. And then the last 2 weeks. It starts fucking getting wonky because they put the throttle down. You know, because again, like I said before, these corporations can do whatever they want, especially now. Ain't nobody going to stop them. Ain't nobody going to say, oh, they're ripping you off by charging you for unlimited data, but then when you reach, a gigabyte or whatever, they go, hey, we're going to slow this guy down. Why are you paying for unlimited? Theoretically, I'm paying for unlimited data. I should be able to turn right? It says unlimited. That means unlimited. Oh, that's cool. Well, after when next week, then we'll arrange to meet because now you have free time. There's no school. I do want to visit you guys, so we'll make that happen. But yeah, in the meantime, they brought the aircraft carrier home after they lost 3 or 4 jets over the side. Smoking is bad for you. I am very well aware. It hasn't killed me yet. God damn it. I'm trying. I want to kill myself the pussy way, shoot yourself, wherever they get it. Long, slow, protracted suicide by destroying your body with various fucking horrible things. I've done a lot of damage, I'm sure, over the years. So they brought the aircraft carrier home after 3 or 4 said fighters slid over the side. They brought it home. It's on its way home. Now I don't know what they're gonna do. I guess they figure we're allies with the scumbags in the Middle East now, so we don't need the aircraft carrier there anymore. Because they'll police themselves. All right, John. Take care. It's good to see you. Seriously. And I said we'll arrange a meeting because we do need to get together. But yeah, so we know how well that works out. People police themselves. I like how the guy who runs Syria now went from being a terrorist, known Al-Qaeda leader with a $10 million bounty on his head, to now he's the president of Syria. We're going to lift all sanctions on him. That's what it tells you. Like, the world can change fast. It changes real fast. We don't even want to get into Gaza Strip. I guess we'll talk about that next time. But it's way too much to talk about than to slam it into the last 5 minutes of this show. I'm finally going to go see Sinners tonight. I've been holding off on that. I thought I was going with someone else, but this person is keep fucking around, so I'm going to go before the movie is gone. It's like, this was kind of funny. I met someone, right? And we went out, and it was really nice. We had a great time. It was wonderful. And I was like, I'd really like to see you again. And she's like, yeah, that would be cool. And I was like, yeah, you want to go to the movies and see Sinners? And she was like, yeah. And then she just started blowing me off for like 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks. And finally I said something. I said, I was like, hey, you could have just said no. And then she got all pissed off. I'm like, if you didn't want to go out with me, you could have just said no. And she was like, what are you talking about? And here's what I learned from that. When someone uses the phrase, I'm living my best life, that means they don't give a fuck about nobody else. That their life is totally centered around them, and that's all. And if they could pencil you in somewhere, they might. But, don't think that you're any kind of a priority in any way, because you're not. And you're like, at this point, you're like, hey, I've been waiting to see this movie for almost 3 weeks now. It's going to go out of the movies. Like, I'd like to see it before it was gone. It wasn't like I, bitched or made a big deal. I just said, hey, you could have just said no if you didn't want to go. She got all mad. Now, I guess I fucked it all up, but whatever. The person was a, selfish shitbag anyway, I could tell. Which I kind of getting the feeling that most people today are selfish shitbags, especially in this country. And now, maybe not in other countries, but in America, most people are selfish shitbags. They only care about themselves and have no empathy for other people or any kind of respect for, other people's time. And like, she was salty that, I guess, that I wasn't going to hang around for however long she was going to make me wait to see her again, and just be in perpetual limbo without saying anything. And I didn't say anything for a long time. Now, I was getting annoyed second week, but I was trying to be cool. And finally, the third week, I was like, you could have just said no if you didn't want to go. Like, there's no need to string that. Like, getting rejected by someone who you ask them out and they say no is disappointing. But it's not nearly as humiliating as getting strung along for weeks and weeks. It's like excuse after excuse why she can't go out even though she said she would. And like, it's not even like I was like, oh, you need to go out with me every day. It's like, we were supposed to go out, another time. It just never happened. She said, so I'm busy. I'm sure you are. It's like, I'm sure you are. And if you're that busy, then you shouldn't tell people that you'd fucking go out with them. It's that simple. So anyway, I'm going to go and see Sinners. I'll let you know what it's like. Maybe I'll do that. I'll do a little review of the movie. Yeah, I don't know why. It'll be gone by the time I come back on Thursday. And remember, if you don't remember, Saturday, I'm going to see Primus and Pussifer in Indianapolis and Perfect Circle. So I'm going to do the show on Friday instead of Saturday. So I'll be here on Friday at 6 o'clock instead of Saturday at 6 o'clock. And I'm going to ask... it's perhaps Daniele will be free because it's a Friday, but I don't know if he will. But if he is, I'm gonna try to get him on. So because he would normally come on Saturdays. So thank you guys for watching. I love all you guys. I said without you there wouldn't be a show. So thank you very much, and we'll be back on Thursday, 6 o'clock. Be safe out there. I'm Bruce Leonard. This is Bruce Leonard Leans Left. While it's still legal. Hopefully it'll still be legal on Thursday, and I'll be back then. Thank you very much, and good night.